Hello, 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 once again, lads, and lassies. My name is Josh, and we are going back into the world of Erased. Last episode, Sachadu failed. After all of his efforts, Kaio still ended up dying. Though, did the events of her death changed, is the real question. Well, he doesn't know it for sure. In this timeline, she was beaten to death. The question is, was she beaten to death in the last timeline, or did the serial killer actually get her? Now, there's a lot of questions. I could be looking too far into it, but as of right now, he was ejected from his past body and put back into the present, where, even though he was able to make a slight difference, it was not enough, as his mom is still dead and he was still framed for the murder. So, is there going to be a way for him to go back in time to do this again? Or is he stuck in the present and he has to clear his name through what he's learned from the past? I don't know. I think he's going to go back to the past. And the one person who's helping him is also a target of the murderer, as he does not want any loose edges. So, is he going to be able to save her in time as well? Or, once again, are we going to use time travel to potentially change everything? Let's get into it, shall we, lads?
I realized that if there's one thing I'm really good at, it's believing in people.
Oh, that didn't take her very far, did it? Hello, Kota. Yeah, it looks like Kaio's mom is with the murderer, but that's not what the live-in boyfriend looks like. I guess he could change his appearance. It's a lot of smoke. She might have. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Okay, it's his redemption arc.
Gym more often. Let's hurry before we get barbecued.
His redemption arc has begun.
Don't get her mixed up in your shit.
Now it might be a little bit more difficult to frame him for any potential future murders.
He's close.
It's probably the guy that the pizza guy was talking to, so that would give him the resources. But like, I mean, he's a stalker too, so it doesn't really matter how he found her address. Oh, he's contacting him?
If you're who you say you are, then nice to meet you.
Or is this a police officer?
Been expecting your call.
Like a
Because
news
if you're not who you say you are, then you're the son of a bitch that killed Sachko.
Oh, it's the friend, right?
I used to work with your mom.
Yeah, him.
God damn.
They are playing with these red eyes. They are definitely playing with these red eyes.
No doubt about it. I didn't tell the cops you called, and I didn't kill your mom.
The murderer also did not have a beard.
Not even. Kaio's mom and her boyfriend beat her and locked her in the shed. That was around 10, and she was still alive. We know she froze to death. They hid it.
Okay, she froze to
Took the
death.
fall for the murder.
Oh yeah. So this is
Ahead of myself.
all right.
The theory goes that Kaio was taken from the shed sometime after 10 p.m. Then she called your house and asked your mom if she knew where Kaio was.
Oh.
The tread matched tracks they found near the shed.
Oh. Okay. So
Here's
she
how
was
the police believe
taken.
The killing went down. Then, just before dawn, he put her body back in the shed.
It's awfully elaborate.
The same exact thing happened in the next town over from yours.
Oh.
Someone was quickly arrested, but he swore he was innocent, same as you.
Right. Yeah. The other three
See?
victims.
The killer framed every suspect. So whoever
And he's
murdered
about to do it
Kaio
again.
also murdered Sachko.
He plants a false trail of evidence at the scene of the crime that leads the cops
He's
away
really
from him
smart.
and straight towards some other poor sucker. And
Oh,
while
I'm so
everyone
interested
looks
to
the
get to
other
know
way,
this killer more.
he kills again.
Oh man, don't leave her alone. I hope the pizza guy's there. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but I hope he's like sitting on the outside of that door.
If Fujinuma shows his face here, I'm gonna take his ass out personally.
So what's the story with the high
Okay.
school girl?
She was in it with him.
You must have been so terrified.
But Auntie, that's not.
You poor thing. We
They're
shouldn't
not
have left
listening
you all
either.
alone in the house like that.
Everyone thinks Satoru killed his mom and tried to kill me. But that's crazy.
At the very
What I say,
least,
no one
she
believes
has
me.
police protection for now.
You weren't kidding. Looks like he wanted to help the cops catch you by pinning the fire on you too.
Oh, he's so
I'm in
good.
trouble. I'm already a suspect in one murder.
He's just making it
Wasn't enough
worse.
framing me. So in the 24 hours between when my mom saw him try to kidnap that little girl and when he killed my mom,
Brown
he must have
hair.
gone to the pizza place and had a look at the shift schedule. If
I
that's
feel like
what
his hair was more
happened,
brown. I guess
then
it was
already saw his
shading.
face.
Hell, it's worth a shot. It might even break this case wide
This guy's the
open.
next one to die.
Come up to the hospital.
I have a theory that Jun Shiratori might suspect his father to be the killer. Shiratori's refusal to talk to authorities did not help his case.
But I'd be okay holding Hiromi's.
Oh, Hiromi died?
He only killed him to cover his tracks. To keep his name off the list.
I didn't even realize Hiromi died.
Shiratori was arrested after
I also thought that was a girl too.
reported seeing him talking to a third-grade girl. Police found photos of Hiromi Sugita's body. These
It's
photos,
too
investigators
easy.
suspected Jun Shiratori of having pedophiliac tendencies.
The killer planted that stuff to keep the cops off his trail.
Oh,
Who were the
so he was right.
before Hiromi died.
It wasn't an excuse? It wasn't the classic, oh, I'm holding this for my friends excuse?
Miss Katagiri, sorry to barge in on you.
Oh, is she really asleep?
You wouldn't happen to be Satoru
Okay, yeah.
Fujinuma,
Huh? No, actually, I'm a friend of Satoru's.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Irie's mother.
The aunt. Or the mother?
No one believes me. No one believes
Oh,
Satoru
and now
either.
it's paying back now. Like the whole dad thing. She's like, I believe you.
Go and find Satoru.
Meow. Oh no, but the police protection. Damn, that could be a cop. That could be the murderer.
Can you meet me under the you-know-what?
Wait, no, don't go there. I got you in enough trouble.
Don't worry. I'll make sure no one follows me.
Oh, but someone is following you. It's probably gonna be police.
That's
Oh, that's the same kind of plane that Yuki was flying.
No way!
Yippee!
Look! It's heading for the river!
Oh no!
Poor Yuki.
God damn,
I
yeah.
hear the same thing back then.
It's sad, but that's how the world is, sadly. Then a black car comes, hits her. Who's the one following? The cops or the murderer?
Make sure no one followed.
Nishizono?
I've seen him once or twice. He's on the city council because he wears that pin. The boss is always kissing
Ooh,
his butt.
city council member.
It's always been in the boss's office. I know how you must be feeling, but you can't beat yourself up.
I mean, a council member would have the resources, and they're pretty smart, so.
Never make things right.
Ah, man, the plane, no!
I think it's too soon to give up on what you want because nothing's set in stone. However this ends is still up in the air, and no one knows what it's gonna be yet.
Bringing back into the conversation, is the future set in
Irie.
stone?
I'm really glad I got to meet you. I said that out loud.
Yeah, okay, it was the cops.
Satoru Fujinuma?
You're under arrest for murder, attempted murder, and arson.
It was the cops, which I guess is the worst outcome.
4:50 p.m.
Toru! I'm sorry! I didn't tell him
No, don't incriminate yourself further, man. Don't do something like, oh, I made her do. Don't say that. You could potentially.
Leave her with some kind of hope. What would a superhero say at a time like this?
Going back to Kamen Rider.
It's not your fault. I know I'll get through this somehow.
Yeah, there he is. The murderer is always there at the scene of the crime. Ah, it's so cool. The butterfly. Didn't even realize that 20 minutes had gone by. I'm so tempted to go watch the next episode. I don't know. I have some notes here, but I don't want to drag it. I've been in this exact situation with Made in Abyss, and I go down the episode hole. Oh, decisions. This episode, we stayed in the present and we got more questions about the past. Because I feel like with mysteries, it's important to go episode by episode. And like this episode does give you some stuff to go with. Because, you know, like what if you have a talking point now, they might answer it in the next episode, which I don't know. They haven't really been answering too much. They've been setting it up. We have a list of suspects. But is it enough to tie down someone to this crime? I mean, he's there. The murderer is usually always there at the scene of the crime. Oh, wait. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking back at like when the fire started. I want to see when she comes out. Do we see? No. Okay. Maybe when he jumps in then. All right, here. It's a little early, but all right. Let's see if when. No, he's not here. I was wondering if he was gonna be like watching the fire too, because usually murderers are, I mean, like he waited for Yuki, or not. Maybe it was like maybe not a wait thing. Maybe it was just like extreme coincidental timing. It's definitely the guy that was talking to the manager. But does that make? Oh no, yeah, it is a city council member. Yeah. Oh, council member. Well, just because he didn't use his, or not, Yuki kind of eliminated him from the suspect list. It's like, oh wait, it can't be him. He's not on the suspect list. But is he really gonna get his name on the suspect list? I don't think he's gonna be anywhere near that thing. He's too smart. He's too calculating. And that would, what would a city council member have to do with a pizza place, other than setting up the guy for the fall? Man, seems like him and the pizza boss, they're pretty chummy. But I guess it does Satoru know? Does Satoru know what the council member looks like? Because if he does know who it looks like, because he definitely sees the murderer's face right now. Definitely sees his face right now. So if he does know what he looks like, then like boom, he's like, all right, I know it's the council member. But if he doesn't know what the council member look like, then it's like, well, back at square one. Damn. This series has been ending on like cliffhanger after cliffhanger. It's so well, like so far, it's so well paced. You don't even realize 20 minutes go by. It's so fast. And the fact that he's there, he probably was the guy following her. Like the car, he probably was the car following her. And instead of getting his own hands dirty and doing, like, you know, killing them both himself, which probably would have just spun, because like the cops don't care. They're like, yeah, we got our guy. They're not even looking at any other evidence. This guy probably followed her, and instead of getting his hands dirty and risking them going like, oh wait, these two were murdered, the cops probably would have gone like, oh, it was a murder suicide, or like they both killed each other to get away. They're lovers. Instead of risking that, maybe one cop going like, hey, wait, guys, this is kind of sus. He just called the cops. Just followed them and called the cops. Let them do his dirty work. He's playing everyone like a fiddle. I need to retract some of my earlier theories of Irie being like related to Kaio or anything like that. Her energy matches Kaio, I guess, or like some things that she said. They're very similar to how Kaio says things, but she's not related to anyone. I had been saying, like in the earlier episodes, like she can't even have been born back then, because she's like 17, I think, and the whole event took place 18 years ago. So I was thinking like, okay, she related to someone or anything like that, but no, it's just like completely, like she's not even from the same town or prefecture or whatever. She's from a farming prefecture. She's moved in here with her aunts and uncles, so like she's like, there's no one that she can be related to. It's just completely coincidental. And the whole candy bar story is why she believes him and why she's so invested in him. And she's right, which it's nice to see that the mom is on her side after that whole candy bar fiasco. Still ridiculous, but it's nice to see that she's like come around and does believe in her daughter. But man, it's not going to be easy fighting for Satoru. Everything's going to be stacked against him. So I wonder if, I'm going to assume that instead of going through the legal proceedings, that we saw the butterfly, he's going to go back in time. He's going to change stuff enough so that he's not going to be in that exact situation with the handcuffs, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to solve it yet. I feel like we're going to go back in time so right now we're going to go back in time one more time with the because of this, and then we're going to go back into the present, and then we're going to solve it in the present. I don't know. It's good stuff. It's really good. But yeah, it's definitely the city council member. But there's one last thing that's missing. There's a piece missing. And the name didn't strike Yuki. Like, it didn't strike him as familiar, both in people that he knew or on the suspect list. So it's a completely new character. It's not like a surprise, it was I, the teacher. Surprise, it was I, the live-in boyfriend. It has to be someone different. But who? And if it actually is the city council member, it makes sense because like they would have the resources, they would have the. Well, I'm not sure how it is in Japan, but they would have like the suave, the swagger, to like convince people to vote for them, to put them in office. So like he has the resources, the trust of the people, the ability to very easily, like, you can say manipulate, or yeah, I guess manipulation. I guess it is a form of manipulation to persuasion. That's it. The ability to persuade people into believing in him. So it would make sense if he was the city council member. It's just, who is he? I did not realize that one of the victims on that death list was the other friend. I thought that other friend was a girl, but no, that was a guy, and it was a strategic thing to like get the big stretch. It's a strategic way to get the police off his trail. It's like oh, this one only murders girls, but like or no, I don't know. It is just a strategic way to kind of like throw the police off. Like, okay, the signature is only murdering young girls. Oh, this one's a boy. No, I think he just kills whoever. The beat up. So like, I guess in the I don't know if it's in the original timeline or not. I don't think it is. No. Oh, that's one thing that changed. I guess the parent or the mom was outed as a child abuser. That's got to be something that's changed because Satoru was surprised about the whole thing, and it looks like it was in the paper. It looks like it was I don't know. I feel like the way it was structured, the way that conversation was structured, is like, let's go over the facts we know. And he opened the book, and it's like, we know for a fact that the mom beat the kid to near death, left her in the storage closet. Someone took her out of it, killed her, put her back in. So I guess in this timeline, something significantly that's changed is that the mom was outed as an abuser. So that is a change. That's progress, I guess. But in the previous timeline, I don't believe she was outed, because then they probably would have known. But she was killed by another person. Like, she was killed by the murderer who's stalking her. He stalks his victims before he does anything. She's killed by him, put back inside the box, and they use Yuki's shoes to frame him, which once again shows how clever he is, because he not only does he scope out his victims, he scopes out who is going to have take the fall. And Yuki suspected his dad, but I don't think it's going to be his dad. But the fact that Yuki suspected his dad, it could be like the murderer was banking on that. It's like, all right, this kid's going to suspect his dad, which means he's not going to talk, which is going to make it worse for him, which makes it better for me. But he stalked Yuki, made sure he knew, like, okay, these are the kids he hangs out with. These are the ones that I can get away with killing, that make it look like it was him. I'm going to steal his boots. And then Yuki would go like, the only, in Yuki's mind, he'll probably be going like, oh, the only people that would know about my boots are my dad. So he's going to steal his boots. He's going to frame Yuki at his workplace. It was awful. It's the same thing that he's doing to Satoru with the whole, like, the phone number is like, I'm going to leave this evidence, this big piece of evidence of, like, the phone texting her, stay where you are, boom. Like, if the police found that, it would have been over for him. And the police have the phone now, too, because I'm pretty sure... Did he have it on him still? I hope not, but... It's just awful. It looks terrible, and it's pretty airtight, especially if the police don't care to do a further investigation, because they are like, yeah, it's him, guys, it's him. I'm gonna kill him myself. You know, they're not open-minded. They want it to be him because, you know, it's just like case closed, right? We don't have a murderer on the loose. We keep catching the guy. We keep catching people. Okay, we're not incompetent. We haven't been letting a murderer stay on the loose to continue doing crimes and framing people for the past 18 years. Guys, what are you talking about? We keep catching these people. It's just more of them pop up. What's wrong with you? So that's probably the mentality the police are at right now. The one thing that like struck me as kind of sad in this episode, outside of like everything, it's just kind of like social. I don't know if this was trying to be social commentary or not, but when he was playing with the kids, those women were like, oh, does he have a job? Or like, I hope he's not a pedophile. I guess I was like this too with Yuki, because I'm like, oh, Yuki kind of seems a little off, but Yuki's a good cat. He's a good kid. Oh, before I go into this, but like before I forget, Yuki was not lying about his stash. I thought it was like the typical, like, you know, like in movies, allegedly from what I've heard, like high school's supposed to be, right? It's like, oh no, those are mine. I'm just hanging on to them for a friend. No, apparently those are a friend's. Those aren't his, I guess. I thought it was just like the murderer going like, yeah, this, like, I've seen him at the supermarket. I know what he buys. No, apparently the murderer is like, Yuki, my boy, can you hang on to these, please? And then I think that's what it's insinuating here. But yeah, the little piece, the piece of social commentary in this episode, which I don't know if it's trying to be that or if it's like, I feel like, I mean, because they did it with Yuki, and I guess they're trying to point out a little bit more. It was just sad when he was like playing with the kids, and he you know, no malice in it. He's like, hey, here, this will help. This will make your plane fly better. And then the kids just went, like, he didn't try and hang out with them. He just like, oh, here, do this. And then like the kids left. He left. He wasn't trying to follow them. He wasn't trying to make friends or anything. Just like those two women, like, yeah, a man playing with children. Oh. Which, you know, it's sad because, you know, if he was a woman, and he should, if he was a woman, did that same thing, and no one would bat an eye. But I mean, there's a lot of cases where men like do anything with children, and like automatically it's like, can't do that. I mean, I've seen cases, or I've read cases where this guy, he went through college, he got a degree or bachelor's, whatever. You know, he got the certificate to be a preschool teacher because he loves kids, not in that way. And then when he couldn't get a work because no preschool was hiring him, and then the preschool that he finally did get work at, a lot of parents just pulled their kids out because, like, we don't want a male preschool teacher anywhere near our kids, because that's like, why would a man want to be around kids other than the fact that they're a pedophile? Which I believe the school actually kept him. Like, I don't think they fired him, but, you know, they lost business, which, you know, good on the school for keeping up, like, sticking for morals. But I mean, it sucks. I mean, it is kind of like it does suck that it is kind of like that's where we've gotten to. But also, like, you see the news, and, like, you see like these terrible things that happen, and it's mostly men that do it, and it's like with the pizza guy, I guess he's the pizza manager. Like, he came off as scummy, but, like, you know, you see the news, you see that your employee killed his mom. Yeah, of course the rational thing to do is call the police if you get into contact with him. That's the rational, like, yeah, like so it makes sense, you know, rationally. It's just, it sucks that's the point that we're at in the world, especially in 2006. I feel like I guess 2006, like, we were transitioning into that. You know, I talked with my parents, like, what it was like for them growing up. It was like, oh yeah, we just ran outside No cell phones, no way to get into contact with anyone. Ran outside, played till dawn, and then the parents would just trust that we came back. No supervision at all. And now it's like phone on you at all times. Always stay with adult supervision. If you're not in adult supervision, find it. The 911 is like, press these numbers. No talking to strangers. Like, that's a good one though. No talking to strangers. But like, it's just like, it's become so much more hostile now. I say as police sirens are wailing outside my house. But enough of that heavy topic. I want to watch more Erase, so yeah, I was planning on just watching 2 episodes a day. It looks like I'm watching 3. So lads, and lastly, if you want to see the next episode right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next episode of Erase comes out. And if you cannot wait to see it, be sure to check out our Patreon, where you can check it out right now, probably the rest of the series as well. This was the midway point of Erase, and my god, what a midway point it was. That last scene where he figured out that the murderer was there, I just loved that. Everything went gray. Everything stopped moving. The camera just started spinning and panning. Perfect tension buildup. And now let's see. I'm pretty sure he's going to end up going back to the past. So let's see how far back he goes. Will he have to relive like that 1 to 2 months that he had to? Or is he going to be like a couple days before the murder now? I don't know. I'm just excited to see how this goes. So lads, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.